Hi, good morning. So this feels really weird. This is our take 2. In fact, it's actually take 3 of our coffee chat this morning. I decided to just stay sat where I was and just get on with it. So apologies for all of you lovely guys who were with me. Unfortunately, we got half an hour in and the sound and the picture went, which meant we still got some questions to cover, and I know we hadn't finished. So if this is going to feel just so strange, I'm going to try and forget that I'm not live, and I'm not going to be able to see your comments, because I absolutely thrive off that. I love seeing you interacting with me, and just telling me how things have related for you as to what I've talked about. So given that you're watching this on the replay, because I've recorded it, just add to the comments, and I will go back through the comments through the course of today, and I will comment on them as though they were during the live. So I'll try and answer any questions you've got as well that I don't end up covering. So I guess if you're joining and just watching this for the first time, let me summarise for you where we'd got to, and then you possibly don't have to watch the other one either. So the reason that we're talking about a course today is that Emma asked me to cover this, because I guess there's a lot of courses out there, aren't there? And there's people that start their businesses, they have an area of expertise, and they feel compelled to produce a course which shares their expertise with their potential audience. And knowing where to start is overwhelming. You just kind of sit down with a blank piece of paper often and just go, right, okay, so what shall I cover? So what I want you to focus on is actually, rather than sitting down with that kind of overwhelming task of, but I know so much, what am I going to put in this course? I want you to almost rewind it even further than that. The key to having a successful online course is actually knowing who it's for in the first place. Not just like, well, this can sort of help these people and it could probably help those people, and actually if those people did it, they would get some value from it as well. I'm sure that's true. But where I want you to get is that you know exactly who this course is for, like way before you start putting any content to it. So that is where the ideal client work comes in. Everything I talked about seems to always lead straight back to the ideal client. And that's, I make no apologies for that, because that is where the secrets lie. That is where you get the focus on what you do. That's where you are able to really tap into what that ideal client needs and wants, and then you fill that gap. So I'm whizzing through this, by the way, in case anybody did see the first part. I don't want to repeat it all. So for me, before you even start considering what you put into a course, what you should be doing, and this works with a blank piece of paper. One side you have your dark scenario, the other side you have your light, and in the middle I want you to have a gap. So on the dark side, you put all the emotions that your ideal client is experiencing or could experience if they don't get your help. So they might be frustrated, they might be angry, they might be demotivated, they might be unfulfilled, they might be embarrassed. They could be all sorts of things. So they're going to be a set of fairly negative emotions that they're experiencing either right now, or if they don't get your intervention, they could end up experiencing those things at some point not too far away. On the opposite side, you have got all the positives that they could change that to. So how they're going to feel when you have intervened, you've played your part in their life, you've provided your product, your service, your assistance, whatever it is. And on the other side, it is the light. So it's the, how is their life going to be different? Are they going to feel more fulfilled? Are they going to feel enriched? Are they going to feel happy, more confident? Whatever it is on the other side. So the gap in the middle between those two scenarios is you. It is you, because of your expertise, because of your knowledge, because of your personality, because of your skills, because of your natural ability. It's you that sits in the middle there. But you have to make sure that what it is you provide in the middle is what they need, because it's too easy when you become an expert in something, which you are an expert because you're looking to build your business around your expertise. It's really easy to go like all in with all your knowledge and just kind of get everything out there and prove to people how knowledgeable you are, and I can teach you this and I can teach you that. But it's easy to forget that people don't necessarily want that level of detail. They want to be able to move themselves from that dark place into that light place pretty much as quickly as they possibly can, Like, we don't want to necessarily know that we're going to have to go on a journey. We don't want to know all the ins and outs of what we'll have to do from there to there. We just want the end result. As a human being, we're kind of like, yes, just get me there. It's not the process. It's not the in-depth this and this I want to know. I just want to get to the end result. So from your perspective, you can now look at, well, there they are now. That's where I want them to get to. And the most simple route is absolutely the best one. So I recommend only having 5 steps, no more than 5. So they might be, firstly, establishing to make sure they do understand where they are at the moment and therefore can take them on that journey. And being able to then develop them enough that they're then taking themselves to that light place. You're going to have to give them something along the way, of course you are, but actually the process needs to come from them, almost certainly, with a service that you're providing. On a product basis, it could be that you provide product number 1, and actually that creates a gap that allows you to sell in product number 2, or that actually you need something else that goes with product 1 and 2 to be able to really enhance the product overall. So 5 things, 5 stages, 5 potential stages in your solution is best. I think I've just summarised about half an hour's worth of content there. So when you've got your 5, you then need to be able to market it, because unless you market it, it might be the single best course in the world ever, which is absolutely perfect for your ideal client. If you can't take that message out to the world and share what it is that you do, then it's going to be the best kept secret, isn't it? And you're not going to be able to help those people that you know you can. So being able to tell people what it is they're going to get out of this process, of this course, that's where the secret lies. Not telling them, well, you're going to learn this and you're going to do this and through this 5-step thing, you're going to win. They don't want to know that, actually. They just want to know what the outcome is. And the best example I used just now is around like health and weight loss. So you might be able to sell a 5-week program that people would subscribe to, and they're going to get like meal plans, they're going to get exercise routines, they're going to get ways to be able to monitor their calorie intake, their calorie expenditure, they're going to be weighing their food, they're going to be this, they're going to be doing like 12 burpees a day, they're going to burn this many calories. Like, if you tell people that, they are going to be out of there quicker than you can say, that sounds like hard work. What they want to know is at the end of that 5 weeks, your jeans will fit better, you will have dropped a dress size, you will feel much better, you will be able to go back out into the world post-lockdown feeling like $1 million. That's what they want. They want the outcome, not the process. You need to obviously know the process because you're writing the course, you're writing the solution for them. But marketing it in a way that it's always the outcome is the critical piece. So I think that's pretty much where we got to. And then there were some questions coming up around how do we deliver it? How do you set yourself apart? The setting yourself apart thing, for me, is all about that marketing message. And it's all about actually knowing who this really, really applies to. It's not the course that could help that person and that person and that person, because I don't want to know that. As a potential ideal client, I don't want to know that this is a course suitable for an 18-year-old who's just left school and it could help a 65-year-old. I want to know that this is the single best course for just me because of the problems you're going to solve for me. So being able to really, really niche your marketing down to be able to know that there's a unique element to it, and that this is the only solution that is ever going to be able to solve the problem that I know you already have identified and that I know you're going to be able to solve for me. That is the key. So how do you set yourself apart? You make sure the messaging is really clear. You only ever talk about the outcome. You make it as simple as possible so it doesn't overwhelm people and you haven't attempted to dump out all of your fabulous knowledge, your experience, your expertise into just kind of one course, because that's overwhelming. People don't want to know that. How do you deliver it? That was a question. So there are a number of different technologies that you can use to deliver it. And do you know what? It depends on you. It depends on what you prefer to do. So clearly, you know that I don't mind video. So my training vault pretty much always includes a video, plus there's a worksheet, and there's some that involve slides, some that don't. If you absolutely can't force yourself to do video, You don't have to, because there is no point in me saying, oh, it needs to be like this. There is no rules, there is no right or wrong. Remember, it's about what your ideal client wants to see, and it's the knowledge that you're imparting. So if you would prefer to perhaps produce something where you've got something on a screen and you can voice it over, then do it like that. So from a technological perspective, let me talk you through the way that there's a couple of options to do it. So start with mine really simply is I use Zoom. So I use Zoom for all of the meetings that we hold, and I can record the meetings. So all I do when I'm recording my training is I'll go into as though I'm going to do a Zoom meeting. I will have already produced some slides. Now I use Google Slides to produce my I think I used them on the last challenge, so they've normally got a sort of structure to them so I can follow what I want to cover, and there's something visual to watch along with, which makes it easier for certain learning styles to do that. So I will then I'll go onto Zoom, I will share my screen with nobody because there's nobody else in the meeting, so that then there's a little picture of me up in the top corner, plus the slides, and then I'll record the meeting, and that then records everything that I do. So I can then press and scroll through the slides on Google, see the content, I can talk it over. Once I'm finished, I stop recording it, and it saves my meeting in inverted commas. That then produces a file for me, so a MP4 file. I then put that into Vimeo, which is a video hosting platform. It just sort of saves them a bit like YouTube would, but it saves them into Vimeo. And then I host all my online courses in ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels was the system that was built for me a long time ago when I first took a done for me package, and they built me all sorts of different parts of ClickFunnels. So I've just continued to use that. But others that are equivalent to that, just looking at my fabulous list next to me, there is Kajabi is another really popular one for online courses. But equally, if you just want to deliver them like as individual little sections, you could even just store them in something like Dropbox, where people can then go in and access a folder where you've got certain little files in. You might do worksheets and you could drop them into there. But Kajabi is similar to ClickFunnels in that you have a like the participant would log on, and you've got the option to have video, worksheets, and all the additional bits and bobs that go with it. Similar to ClickFunnels. The other one is Teachable. I've not used Teachable myself, but I've done a couple of things where they're hosted in there. Again, very easy to use. But yeah, if you've got something that you want to just keep more simplistic, and you're just going to send certain things to your participants, then Google Drive and Dropbox are really good for that, because you're effectively just hosting a file and giving them access to that file. From a could I do it without me, then you can give people the formats in whichever way you feel called to do. And to say, I'm not going to sit and say, oh, you need to pre-record yourself, you need to this, you need to the other, because if it feels really horrible for you to do, then it'll come across. So choose a way that feels right for you. Now, it might be that you're comfortable to voice something over but not be seen on camera, in which case, do a voice recording and just use it as like an MP3 file, isn't it, when it's just your voice. You could have a worksheet that people have already, you expect them to have already opened, and then you just talking them through the worksheet like you would if you were on the phone to somebody. It's whatever feels right for you. There are no rules, there is no right or wrong. You've got some people who like have teams of people, and they've got like a studio that they're delivering this stuff in, and then you've got others literally doing it off their kitchen table, but the content is still just as valid, and it's still where the value lies. It should be as simple as you can to do it. It can take a while to produce a course, of course it can, but it's up to you how much you sort of rework it. So for me, I'm regularly recording or re-recording old content. I'm adding to it, I'm refreshing it. I redo lots of mine and just replace it. But actually just having something that sits, that people can access, you can sell, you can promote at certain times, is a really great way of starting to build that understanding of who you are, what you do. So for me, there's the Business Accelerator program, which is £99. There is no interaction with me directly through that, but there's lots of content that sits in there that people can take themselves through in their own time. And then it's starting to build that trust in what I do. It's starting to see how you would interact with me on a course, and it gives you enough that there's great value in there for you, but it's not overwhelming in terms of the commitment, and clearly the financial commitment is much smaller in that it's only £99. So having a try, I think, is the key. Deciding who it is exactly that you want to appeal to, how you're going to deliver it, so technologically, and what you're comfortable with. So do you want to do little voiceovers? Do you want to do little pre-recorded videos like this? Do you want to do it using Zoom? As I say, that's the way I use. The reason I chose Zoom was because it meant that I could have the slides and the visual of me voicing it over at the same time, whereas it was sort of one or the other. You either had slides or just you like this. I'm using my camera functionality on my iPad to record this. That's it. That's all I'm doing. So this is going to produce a file that I will now upload into the Facebook group. But if this was part of my course, I would just literally download this and put that into ClickFunnels, which is where I host it. So, you don't have to make it overly complicated, but penning it out to start. What's the dark place? What's the light place? What is the transformation that you're going to deliver to that person in the middle, in those simple stages, is really, really key. I'm desperately trying to think of the other questions. So we talked about the technology. So yeah, Kajabi, Dropbox, Google Drive, Teachable, and ClickFunnels are the big ones for me in order to deliver a course. But actually, a lot of it is really around that promotion piece. That all too often I hear people say, I produced this course and it took me like 6 months to write this course. So there's so much content in there. It's amazing. For my ideal client, it's just the most amazing thing. But nobody's bought it. And when I ask about how much it's been promoted and where have you promoted it, who have you promoted it to, that's where we tend to struggle a little bit, because we put all the work into producing the thing and then it's almost like, right, I've produced it now, everyone, come and buy it. But nobody knows that it's for them unless you constantly promote it and you tell them about all those benefits. So being able to actually get your marketing to be just as time heavy as your course production is absolutely key. There is no point in creating something that takes you 6 months of work, promoting it a couple of times and going, oh well, look, no one wants to buy it, I might as well give up. It's about constantly reiterating that this is valuable to this person, this is how it's going to help from this person. Where you've got somebody that has done your course, then getting those testimonials is key. Getting them to talk about why they did it, why did they choose to do it, what is their circumstance that they were looking to develop, to achieve, what outcome were they looking for, did they achieve that, how much did they achieve that, how great was the course. That goes a long way for all of us to build that trust in, well, should I buy this thing or should I not? Because then somebody else, you can see that, well, they managed to get the success that I'm looking for, therefore it must mean that I'm going to be able to. So there's ways and means of promoting it, or allowing people to do it perhaps for a reduced rate. I did that recently when I launched the Business Accelerator. So I gave 3 people the opportunity to do it at 50% of the cost, as much to test everything worked, but also to get that really important social proof from them. Tell us how you get on with it. How did you find it? What was it like? And constantly doing that checking with your clients that it's working for them. Because with the best will in the world, you can sit and produce the course that you believe totally wholeheartedly is going to solve the problems for your ideal client. It's going to get you from that place to that place. But if for whatever reason you've kind of missed or a subtlety of it, or there's something that they need help with more than the thing you're looking to try and solve, then you can review it, you can change it. But listening to what they're saying, listening to what it is they want the help with, and then tweaking the messaging even. You might well be solving that problem, but you maybe don't draw it out quite so much. So for me, I realised a little while ago that actually some of the technology was the thing holding people back. And there was always a certain element of the technology in the academy programme, but I didn't really make much of it because it was like I guess it was like an add-on. The things that I'd learned, the things that I'd taught myself, the systems that I was using, I shared that. But I didn't see that as a really crucial part of what people wanted until I started having more of those conversations and people saying to me, yeah, you know, I've got all that, I can do that, but I just don't know how to deliver it or how to support it or how to scale my business, how to automate it. So it was then that I realised actually I needed to make much more of the fact that, yeah, I do that. And yes, I can help you with that. So being able to just listen when you get that feedback is key as well, to really just honing the messaging. It might not even be that you're changing the course. It's honing the message. Okay, that's 20 minutes. You've already possibly done 20 minutes, half an hour with me already. So I'm going to leave it there, but please ask anything against this thread or the previous, and I will do my utmost to answer. I'm really sorry again that the technology wasn't helpful for us to do this as a live, but I think I've got over the points to answer the questions that I did see before we finished. Anything else, as I say, drop them in and I will answer them. And I will see you next week. Go and have an amazing week, amazing few days. Enjoy this sunshine, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.